Well, I'm alive, so that's a good start. Honestly, the past month and a half has been absolutely insane, so I have a lot to talk about. This was my graduation month. At the beginning of June, I was like on cloud 9. I was excited I was gonna get my diploma, stop being at college, and then I was gonna have all these opportunities in front of me. But that changed really fast when a gunman stepped onto my campus and started shooting up the place. The timing of this is really weird, but the whole concept of it is just really weird. Somebody came onto my campus and shot one of my neighbors and killed them. Thankfully, I skipped class that day because I had a friend visiting from the Midwest, Michael Lindsay, who I was showing downtown Seattle. So when I first got the text that a gunman was on campus, my mind just flooded. And at the same time, I just felt guilty that I wasn't there, that I had skipped class, that I could have been there, that I should have been there if I had been going to class, but something told me not to go to class that day. Now I'm a resident advisor at Seattle Pacific University, and I had never been so scared in my life that one of my friends or one of my residents was hurt. In a matter of minutes, I went from this on top of the world to be a graduate to a completely vulnerable and confused, I don't know what's happening. And the whole last week of my college experience was just a blur. It didn't seem real. The mood was different. It was no longer about graduating. It was no longer about celebrating. It was just this huge, heavy sense of life is limited. Someone close to us has been taken away. This isn't fair. It's not right. It's not just. How can we change this? And a lot of us just sat on campus wondering, like, how did this happen? And then a week later, after the shooting, I was graduating. And the plan was that I'd stay in Seattle for a couple days, I would pack up all my things in my car, and I would drive back to Oregon. And then, after I packed up everything that I owned and put it in my car, I drove to a cafe to visit some friends and send some graduation invites to my graduation party that was happening the week after. And then when I wanted to go, I walked outside, I looked for my car, and I couldn't find my car. And I kept looking. And it wasn't there. And then I flipped out. I ran inside and I yelled at the barista, call the police, my car's been stolen, with everything that I had in my dorm gone. Bye. Which includes my Canon 60D with 24 70mm lens and 50mm lens and carrying a case and filters and everything. And that's why I'm filming with my Canon Vixia. And you're probably thinking, Matt, that was 2 weeks ago. You should already have your car back with all of your things. Didn't you call the police and get them on it? Yes, I did. And after waiting 4 hours for the police to arrive to the cafe, you gotta understand that this isn't priority for the police. But I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't chase them because I didn't have a car. Irony. I didn't want to give up on everything that I own that fast, so the next day I took it upon myself to go and do my own investigative work. The fraud company had called me and said, have you stopped at this location, this location, this location, and this location today and bought this much stuff? And I was like, no, that was not me. Oh shit, you've been frauded. And I'm like, yeah, I know, and my car's gone with all of my stuff. That's the least of my problems. So what I received was a list of places they visited, at the times they visited them, and the amounts of money they spent there. And then I got to play detective for a day. I collected the receipts, I collected the security footage, I even interviewed a lot of people who had seen them and who had talked to them and interacted with them. One of the security guards that I talked to showed me where he usually parks his Subarus, other stolen cars in Seattle, just laying around, sitting there. Oh my god, this guy's using a Safeway parking garage as his personal car place of all of his stolen vehicles, and no one's doing anything about it. You can see them using my card, he's wearing my North Face jacket, and they couldn't buy that pair of socks because if they had purchased over $25 worth, they would have to show their ID, which the guy's like, oh yeah, right, okay, well we don't have ID, so we're gonna put those socks back. Smart criminals, they're very smart. They went to a Wendy's drive-thru, the first location they stopped after they stole my car, because that's what I would do if I was a criminal. The first place I would stop would be Wendy's to use the stolen credit card to get a Frosty. The world is insane. I compiled all this information, I turned it into the police, and they said, you still don't have a detective assigned to your case, so you're gonna have to wait a couple days before we do anything. I got interviewed by a couple news stations, they put my story on the news, and then the police were saying, oh, now that has media attention, they're going into hiding. So we're not gonna be able to find these criminals for a while. I've had several friends tell me in the last few days, oh, we saw your thief out on the street corner at 90th and Greenwood, or at this bar, or at this bar. So at this point, no arrest has been made, even though we know who the people are, we know where they live, and we know where they hang out. But the police have reassured us that an arrest is imminent. It will happen someday. So in the midst of everything that's happened, a lot of people would look on this and say, oh, your life has been very unfortunate. And I would say, no. No, it's been very good. In this last month, I have not seen such compassion or coming together of a community in my life. Around that shooting, people turned into this cohesive group of supporting, loving, wonderful companions, and it was one of the greatest feelings that I've had in my life, knowing that I have the supportive community behind me. After the car theft, my friends and family came to my side. They helped me figure out who these people were. They supported me. They bought me a toothbrush and deodorant and gave me a place to stay, and I felt very loved. One of my cousins even set up this GoFundMe online in order to help support me while I'm trying to like get my things back so I could buy underwear and socks and things like that. And some of you even donated to it by finding it on Twitter and Facebook and other things, and I was just really shocked and like, wow. I met an incredible guy, Michael, who's from the Midwest, and he had come to campus and was helping me a lot during the shooting. And he even flew out to Oregon to help with everything that was going on after my car being stolen. He's just like such a great guy. Yes, he does have a YouTube channel, and yes, we are dating, and yes, I am gonna go visit him this week in Nebraska, so I'm super excited for that. There will be more videos about that, hopefully. I'll bring this camera. But yeah, so he's pretty freaking incredible. We'll talk about that another time. Yeah. If you want to see some of his video stuff, I'll put his link down in the description below. So, hi Michael. Hi. That's my whole update about everything that's been happening lately. My life has turned a complete 180 in the last few weeks. I don't know what to say. So thank you for being patient and waiting for new videos, because I love doing this. I love YouTube. I just gotta get all my crap together. Yeah. Thanks everyone, I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye!